Good morning, all. Welcome to the lecture of complex analysis. Screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in last lecture we have seen some theorems and definition. That is, what is an entire function, and then we have seen one theorem which is nothing but the Liouville's theorem. We state that if f is a bounded entire function, then it must be a constant. And from that one we have proved every non-constant polynomial is a non-bounded. That is, and we know that every non-constant polynomial is an entire function. Since if we take any polynomial, then it must be analytic in a whole complex plane. So from that one we will note, there is one note, every non-constant polynomial is an entire function. Every non-constant polynomial is an entire function. That is, it is analytic in the whole complex plane C. Okay, in Cauchy's theorem, we have used the radius of convergence. So today we will see some examples how to find out the radius of convergence. Okay, if suppose we have one, first let us see what is the radius of convergence. Radius of convergence is nothing but it is the shortest distance between the, or it is the distance between the center of that power series to our nearest singular point. So radius of convergence, and there are two formula for finding out the radius of convergence. That is, 1 by r is equal to limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n to the power 1 by n. Okay, that is, first we have to find out limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n to the power 1 by n, and which is nothing but 1 by r. If we take the reciprocal of that value, that is limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n to the power 1 by n, then we will get our required radius of convergence. And the second one is nothing but 1 by r is equal to limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n plus 1 divided by a n. So this will be the formula for finding out the radius of convergence. Okay, whenever there is a series, that is series n running from 0 to infinity, a n into z raised to n, that is z minus a to the power n. Okay, let's see some examples. First one, series n running from 0 to infinity, z to the power n divided by n to the power n, and we have to find out its radius of convergence. So what is the value of an here?
1 upon n.
Yes, 1 upon radius of convergence. ही जी radius of convergence सांगितली ती या series ची सांगितली. series n running from 0 to infinity an z minus a to the power n असं जर असेल तर याचं radius of convergence काय असतं? limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n to the power 1 by n or limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n plus 1 divided by a n. जर ही सिरीज असेल तर इथं a n ची टर्म, n टर्म काय असेल? z टू द पॉवर n चं जे काही कोइफिशियंट असेल तो n टर्म असेल ना, कोइफिशियंट. इथं कोइफिशियंट काय आहे z टू द पॉवर n चं?
1 by n.
1 by n or 1 by n to the power n?
1 by n to the power n.
Yes, here n is nothing but 1 upon n to the power n. And we know that what is the radius of convergence? 1 by r is equal to limit n tending to infinity modulus of a n to the power 1 by n, which is nothing but limit n tending to infinity modulus. As this one is a positive one, positive, it means either we can take a modulus or, okay, so modulus of a n, take modulus of a n 1 upon n to the power n to the power 1 by n, that is, it is nothing but limit n tending to infinity 1 upon n to the power n raised to 1 by n. Yes, this one is nothing but limit n tending to infinity 1 upon. What is n to the power n raised to 1 by n? This n then get cancelled, which is nothing but 1 by n. As n tending to infinity, what is 1 by infinity?
0.
0.
Which is 0. So 1 by r is equal to infinity. Then what is r?
Infinity.
Sorry, 1 by r equal to 0. Then what is r?
0, sir. Infinity.
We have to take the reciprocal of this value, that is, it is nothing but infinity. So radius of convergence of a given power series will be infinity. That is, it is analytic in the whole complex plane. Okay, let us take the second example.
सर काही जण
Yes. जॉइन करायला सांगा त्यांनी. Okay, let us take the second example. Series n running from 0 to infinity, 3 plus ni to the power n into z raised to n. Now, tell me, what is the value of a n here?
3 plus ni raised to n.
3 plus ni raised to n. So here, a n is nothing but 3 plus n into I to the power n. Now, what is the modulus of a n then? Modulus of a n to the power 1 by n is nothing but modulus of this one to the power 1 by n. This n get cancelled. Therefore, this one is actually nothing but 3 plus ni. So its modulus is nothing but under root of some 3 square plus n square. Okay. Now, what is the limiting value of this one? Limit n tending to infinity. Modulus of a n to the power 1 by n is equal to limit n tending to infinity under root of this 3 square plus n square. What is its value?
Infinity.
Which is infinity. And this one is nothing but 1 by r. So 1 by r is equal to infinity. Then what is its radius of convergence?
0.
Which is 0. Sorry. Okay. Let us take the next one then. Series n running from 0 to infinity. 1 upon n to the power p into 0 to the power. Yeah. Find out its radius of convergence. N is nothing but 1 upon n raised to p. Yes, what is its radius of convergence?
Zero.
Yes,
सर पॉसिबिलिटीज येतात ना त्यात 2.
कशाच्या
p बाय
डिपेंड करतं का
लेस
p
दॅन
वर?
1 असेल तर आणि हा
नाही, गरजेचं नाहीये त्यासाठी, कारण तुम्ही मॉड्युलस ऑफ p घेणार आहे ना. मॉड्युलस घेतल्यानंतर ते काय फरकच पडणार नाही की त्याचा पॉझिटिव्ह निगेटिव्ह. प्रत्येक वेळेला गरजेचं नाहीये की पहिला फॉर्म्युला चूज करावा तुम्ही. हा फॉर्म्युला कधी यूज होईल तुमचा, जेणेकरून जर त्या an ची जी टर्म आहे त्याचा जर रेस टू n असेल तर तुम्हाला याचा जास्त उपयोग होईल, कारण हा n आणि तो n कॅन्सल होईल. पण प्रत्येक वेळेला जर तुम्ही हे जे फॉर्म्युला यूज करत गेलात तर थोडं डिफिकल्ट होईल. आताच्या केसमध्ये हे फॉर्म्युला यूज करा. an इज नथिंग बट 1/n raised to p. Then what is the value of an plus 1? an plus 1 is nothing but 1/n
n plus 1 raised to p.
plus
n
1
plus
to
1
the
raised
power
to
p. And this one is nothing but 1 by r. 1 by r is limit n tending to infinity modulus of an plus 1 divided by an. Then what is r? R is nothing but limit n tending to infinity modulus of an divided by an plus 1. So here r is nothing but as r equal to limit n tending to infinity modulus of an divided by an plus 1. So which is equal to limit n tending to infinity modulus of what is an? 1/n raised to p. And what is an plus 1? Which is 1/n plus 1 raised to p. As it is a reciprocal of 1, then it must be into n plus 1 raised to p. So which is equal to limit n tending towards infinity. Okay, n plus 1 to the power p. Whatever will be the value of p. Okay, if we take p, then by binomial coefficient first term will be definitely n to the power p plus something coefficient into next will be n to the power p minus 1 plus up to so on. Okay, and divided by n to the power p. If we divide this one by n to the power p, then it is 1 plus next one by something. Here we get coefficient a1 into n to the power p minus 1 divided by n raised to p. This p minus 1 get cancelled. There is only one term which is nothing but 1 a1 divided by some n. Similarly, we get a2 divided by n square plus up to so on. The last term will be 1 divided by n to the power p. But as n is tending towards infinity, this will be 0. This one 0, this one 0. Since there is only one term which is the first one, which is non-zero, which is 1. So here we get modulus of 1. So which is nothing but limit n tending to infinity. This will be modulus of 1, which is equal to 1. So what is the radius of convergence then? It's which is nothing but 1. तुम्हाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
No sir.
Okay. In this way we can find out the radius of convergence. Now let us take some examples of Cauchy theorem and its
सर वो फॉर्मूले से भी आएगा ना उसका आंसर?
रिजल्ट आ सकता है लेकिन थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होगा उससे.
यस सर.
modulus of n to the power 1 by n, which is nothing but here we have to take then log लेना पड़ेगा ना आपको वहाँ पे 1 by modulus of n to the power 1 by n, then it is nothing but 1/n raised to p to the power 1 by n, then it is nothing but 1 by n log of 1/n raised to p. Then we have to use the our real hospital rule, then we will get our required result. Okay, evaluate integral over the curve C mod z equal to 3 e to the power z divided by z minus 2 dz. Find out its integral value. What is its singular point?
2.
2. Whether it is within our circle.
Yes, sir.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
So here we have to use that formula, that is modulus of fn a. Sorry, fn of a is equal to n factorial divided by 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of w upon w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw. By this one we get integral over this curve e to the power z divided by z minus 2 dz is nothing but 2 pi I divided by n factorial into fn of a. But here a is a value of, here a is equal to 0, and what is the value of n? Sorry, a equal to 2,
0.
and what is the value of n? N is equal to 0. Then put just that values, which implies integral over mod z equal to 3 e to the power z
Sir?
divided by z minus 2 dz. Yes.
तर जॉईन होता येत नाहीये कोणाला. एक दोन जण आहे.
जॉइन करायला सांगा. Okay, so which is nothing but 2 pi I divided by n factorial. N is 0, 0 factorial into fn of a, that is f naught of 2, which is nothing but 2 pi I. 0 factorial will be 1, 2. So which is equal to 2 pi I. What is f of 2? As f of z will be equal to e raised to z. Then what is f of 2? Which is nothing but e square. So integral over the curve mod z equal to 3 e to the power z divided by z minus 2 dz is equal to 2 pi I e square. Okay. Similarly, find out integral over the curve c modulus of z minus I equal to 1 z cube minus 6 divided by 2z minus of I dz. Find out its integral value. What is the singular point here? This will be a circle with center at I and having radius will be 1. Whether the given function has a singular point. सिंग्युलर पॉइंट म्हणजे असा पॉइंट ज्या पॉइंटला माझं फंक्शन अनालिटिक होत नाही. इथं तसं पॉइंट पॉसिबल आहे का? येस. आवाज येते ना माझं?
Yes, sir.
येस सर.
हा, सिंग्युलर पॉइंट आहे की नाही आहे त्याला? समजत नाहीये. त्याला असं लिहू शकत नाही का हो तुम्ही z क्यूब मायनस 6 डिवायडेड बाय 2 इंटू z मायनस I डिवायडेड बाय 2. आता आहे का सिंग्युलर पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
येस सर.
तर काय माझं तर काढता येते ना तुम्हाला? इथं कुठंतरी माझं आय असेल. त्या आयच्या साइडने किती रेडियसचं सर्कल आहे? 1 रेडियसचं सर्कल आहे. तर याच्यामध्ये कुठली कुठली पॉइंट येतील? इथं कुठेतरी I/2 असेल ना?
Yes, sir.
I/2 असेल तर सिंग्युलर पॉइंट माझा उदिन सर्कल आहे. तर मग काय येईल? which is equal to 2 pi I divided by n factorial into again fn of a, which is equal to 2 pi I. What is the value of n here?
0.
This will be 0 plus 1, which is nothing but 0 factorial into f naught of e. F naught of e is nothing but I/2, which is equal to 2 pi I. 0 factorial will be 1. F naught of I/2 is nothing but f of I/2. What is here f of z?
Z cube minus 6.
z cube minus 6 divided by 2 आहे ना? 2 पण आहे
Yes, sir.
का नाही? z cube. Z, what is z here? Then I divided by 2. It's cube. I/2 cube minus 6 divided by 2. These two get cancelled. So this one is nothing but what is I/2 cube? Into I/2 cube is I square is minus 1. Minus 1 into I. minus of I divided by 2 cube, which is 8, minus I divided by 8 minus 6, which is equal to I into I square will be minus 1 into minus 1 plus pi by 8 minus of 6 pi I, which is the required integral value. We can see z cube minus 6 divided by 2z minus r dz. Okay, now the next one, integral over the curve C modulus of z is equal to 1 by 2 3z square plus 7z plus 1 divided by z plus 1 dz. What is its integral value? Cauchy theorem आठवतो का? What is Cauchy theorem? EPF is analytic on some set G, and open ball about A of radius R must be a subset of G. Then
F
what
of
is the
z is
integral
equal
value?
to 1 upon 2 pi I integration over gamma f of w upon w minus z to dz.
Cauchy theorem विचारलं मी, ते तुम्ही दुसरं सांगितलं. Cauchy's theorem. EPF is analytic in open ball about A of radius R and gamma be any closed rectifiable curve. Then what is the integral value of function f over that curve gamma?
0.
Which is equal to 0 ना. कधी पण जर माझा दिलेला फंक्शन हा त्या क्लोज्ड कर्ववर जर अनालिटिक असेल तर दिलेला कर्व काय आहे, मॉड z इक्वल टू 1/2, म्हणजे असं काहीतरी आहे. सेंटर 0, रेडियस 1/2. It means this will be a circle. Now, what is the singular point of this given function f of z? प्रॉब्लेम कुठे आहे या फंक्शनला अनालिटिक होण्यासाठी?
-1.
z इक्वल टू -1 ला, पण दिलेल्या रिजनच्या अंडर मध्ये -1 येतो का?
नो सर.
कुठे -1 इथं कुठं तर असेल ना बाहेर. इथे +1 असेल, हा 1/2, हा -1/2, -1 इथं असेल ना माझा. मग दिलेल्या रिजनच्या अंडर माझा फंक्शन हा अनालिटिक होईल की सिंग्युलर पॉइंट येईल?
एनालिटिक होईल.
अनालिटिक होईल ना. दिलेला रिजन काय आहे, मॉड z इक्वल टू 1/2, म्हणजे माझा हा रिजन आहे. इथं तर मला कुठं सिंग्युलर पॉइंट नाहीये, म्हणजे दिलेला फंक्शन माझं दिलेल्या रिजनच्या अंडर मध्ये अनालिटिक आहे. जर तो अनालिटिक होत असेल तर बाय कॉची थेरम त्याची डायरेक्ट इंटिग्रल व्हॅल्यू काय येईल माझी? 0.
0.
Which is from Cauchy's theorem. Okay. Now, the next concept is nothing but the fundamental theorem of algebra. Okay, let us see the statement. If P of z is a non-constant polynomial, then there is a complex number A. It's a complex number A such that P of A is equal to 0. Okay, so if we have a non-constant polynomial, then there is a complex number A such that P of A will be equal to 0. That is, it means every non-constant polynomial has a root or 0 in C. Every non-constant polynomial has a root or 0 in complex number system. Alright, so we can write this one as a polynomial with no zeros in complex number system, no zeros in C, must be a constant polynomial. Is a constant polynomial. Okay, that is if there is a polynomial having no zeros in C, then it must be a constant polynomial only, and that one we have to. Let us see the proof. As here we have to take P of Z be any non-constant polynomial. So let us take let P of Z be a non-constant polynomial. As it is non-constant polynomial, then what is its possible degree? P of Z be a non-constant polynomial, then what is the degree of P of Z?
n.
N. In general, N कसं काय सांगू शकतो? What is the degree of constant polynomial?
0.
0.
0. Then what is the degree of non-constant polynomial?
At least
Greater
1.
equal by 1. At least 1. That is greater equal by 1, which implies degree of P of Z must be greater equal by 1. And we know that every non-constant polynomial is an entire function. And we know that every non-constant polynomial is an entire function. That is, as P of Z is a non-constant polynomial having degree will be greater equal by 1, which implies P of Z is an entire function. Entire function. And now we have to prove that P of Z has a root in complex number system. Okay. Then we have to prove that there is a complex number A. There is a complex number A such that P of A will be equal to 0. That is, A is a root of that polynomial P of Z. If possible, let us assume the contradiction that there is no complex number A for which P of A will be equal to 0. It means P of Z is not equal to 0 for any value of C. Okay. So assume the contradiction that P of Z has no root in C, has no root in complex number system. No root means P of Z is not equal to 0 for any value of Z. That is, P of Z is not equal to 0 for any Z belonging to C. That is, P of Z is not equal to 0 for all Z belonging to complex number. Now we will define one more function, that is small f of Z. Let us take small f of Z as 1 upon P of Z. Since P of Z is not equal to 0 for any value of Z belonging to complex number system, then we can easily define a function f of Z as a 1 upon P of Z. But P of Z is an entire function. P of Z is a entire function. It means it is analytic in whole complex plane. As P of Z is an entire function and P of Z is not equal to 0 for any value of Z in complex number system, then f of Z is also entire function, which implies small f of Z is also an entire function. Since it has a no singular point, entire function. Okay, but P of Z is a non-constant polynomial. As P of Z is a non-constant polynomial, then it must be non-bounded. See, that is we have proved in last lecture. If P of Z be any non-constant polynomial, then it must be non-bounded. Okay, so as P of Z is an entire function and which is not non-constant, which implies limiting value of Z tending to infinity, P of Z will be infinity. As limiting value of P of Z will be infinity, then what is the limiting value of f of Z?
0.
which is 0. Limit z tending to infinity, small f of z is equal to 0. As limit z tending to infinity, f of z will be equal to 0, then we will use the definition of continuity, that is limit. Okay, for which implies for there exists an epsilon greater than 0 for all epsilon greater than 0 and small r greater than 0, we have modulus of f of z minus of 0 is less than epsilon whenever we take mod z is greater equal by our r. Since z, if z is tending towards infinity, then f of z will be equal to 0. Then for each epsilon greater than 0 and this r greater than 0, modulus of f of z minus 0 is less than epsilon. Whenever z is tending towards infinity, it means modulus of z is greater equal by this radius r. Okay, that is mod f of z is less than epsilon whenever mod z is greater equal by r. But f of z is an entire function. It means it is analytic in whole complex plane. Then we can choose a closed disk which is center at 0 and radius r must be a subset of our complex number system, since the given function will be analytic in whole complex plane. So here we can easily take one closed disk which is a subset of C. As f is analytic on this C, then it must be analytic on this closed disk also. As it is analytic, then it must be continuous. So here f is continuous on complex number system. It means f is continuous on this closed disk also. B closure of 0 r, that is a closed disk which is centered at 0 and having radius r will be r. And we know that if f is any continuous function and which is f is any function and which is continuous on closed disk or closed interval, then it must be bounded. As here f is continuous on this closed disk, then it must be bounded, which implies f is a bounded on this disk, bounded on this closed disk. And this disk is nothing but it is a circle with center at 0 and having radius r, having radius will be r. As it is bounded on this disk, which implies there exists some capital M greater than 0 such that modulus of f of z is less equal by m for all z belonging to this disk. P closure of 0. That is, it is nothing but modulus of f of z is less equal by m for all mod z less equal by r. Since it is a circle with center at 0 and radius will be r. Okay. Now here modulus of f of z is less equal by m for each value of z less equal by r. This will be take second one and this will be first one. Okay. So here modulus of f of z is less than epsilon for each value of mod z greater equal by r, and in here modulus of f of z is less equal by capital M for all mod z less equal by r. It means it covers whole the complex number system. Here modulus of z is less equal by r. म्हणजे जर इथं माझं काहीतरी सर्कल असेल, हा माझा सेंटर, and suppose this will be a circle having radius will be r. हा ही इनइक्वालिटी काय सांगते? modulus of z is bounded by this m within this circle, that is this point, and for r greater equal mod z greater equal by r, it is bounded by this epsilon. Okay, it means the region which is outside the circle is bounded by epsilon, this part. Then total our function modulus of f of z is bounded by whatever will be the maximum value among these two, epsilon and m. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
सर्कलच्या मध्ये फंक्शन बाउंडेड आहे कॅपिटल एम नी, सर्कलच्या बाहेर तो बाउंडेड आहे एप्सिलॉन नी. म्हणजे दोघांपैकी जो मोठा असेल त्यासाठी तो पूर्ण कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर सिस्टीम वर बाउंडेड असेल फॉर इच व्हॅल्यू ऑफ झेड बिलॉंगिंग टू कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर सिस्टीम. कोणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
नो सर.
सर्कलच्या मध्ये एम नी बाउंडेड आहे, सर्कलच्या बाहेर एप्सिलॉन नी बाउंडेड आहे, तर टोटल कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर सिस्टीम वर त्या दोघांमध्ये जो मोठा असेल त्याच्याने तो बाउंडेड असेल. So modulus of f of z is less equal by maximum of epsilon and m for each value of z belonging to C, which implies f is bounded on this C also. Okay, which implies f is bounded on complex number system. And already we have proved that f is an entire function. Entire function, it means it is analytic on whole complex plane, which implies f is a bounded entire function. If f is a bounded entire function, then what is the nature of f?
Constant function.
Then it must be constant. Then by Liouville's theorem, f must be a constant function. But as f is a constant function and as f equal to 1 by j, p of z, then what is the nature of p of z?
Constant.
Which implies p of z is also a constant function. But whether this one is possible? Here we get p of z is a constant function, but we have given p of z be any non-constant polynomial. As it is non-constant polynomial, but here we get p of z as a constant function, but this will be wrong. And this contradiction arises due to our wrong assumption, that is there is no root for a given polynomial p of z in complex number system. So our assumption will be, which is contradiction. As this one is a contradiction, it means every polynomial p of z has, every non-constant polynomial p of z has a root or zero in C. And that is we have to reach the required result. Yes, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, now there is one corollary depending on this theorem. If p of z is a polynomial and a1, a2 up to so on am are its zeros or roots with multiplicities k1, k2 up to so on km, k1, k2 up to so on km, then p of z must be of the form c into z minus a1 to the power k1, z minus a2 to the power k2 up to so on z minus am to the power km, and degree of p of z is nothing but k1 plus k2 plus up to so on plus k. Okay, so if p of z be any polynomial and a1, a2 up to so on am be the roots of this polynomial with multiplicities k1, k2 up to so on km, then we have to prove that p of z is nothing but c into z minus a1 to the power k1 into z minus a2 to the power k2 up to so on z minus am to the power km, and degree of p of z will be k1 plus k2 plus up to so on km, where c is any constant. Where c is any constant. Okay, let us see the proof then. Let p of z be a polynomial and a1, a2 up to so on am be its roots with multiplicities k1, k2 up to so on km, then by the definition of zeros of analytic function, then by the definition of zeros of an analytic function, zeros of an analytic function, p of z can be expressed as p of z is nothing but z minus a1 to the power k1, z minus a2 to the power k2 up to so on z minus am to the power km into g of z, where g of aj is non-zero for each value of j lies between 1 to k, which is by definition of zeros of an analytic function. P of z is equal to z minus a1 to the power k1 into z minus a2 to the power k2 up to so on z minus am to the power km into g of z, where g of aj is non-zero for each value of j lies between 1 to k. Sorry, here 1 to m. Okay. Now here we have to prove that g of z is a constant polynomial. Since we prove g of z is a constant polynomial, then we will replace this by some c. Okay, so to prove that g of z is a constant polynomial. To prove that g of z is a constant polynomial, let us assume the contradiction, that is g of z is a non-constant polynomial. Suppose that g of z is a non-constant polynomial. As g of z is a non-constant polynomial, then by fundamental theorem of algebra, g of z must have a root in C. Then by fundamental theorem of algebra, g of z has a 0 in C. That is, there is a complex number a, there is a complex number small a such that g of a will be equal to 0. As a is a 0 of g of z, then a must be 0 of p of z also, which implies a is a 0 of p of z also, since g of a will be equal to 0 and p of z is nothing but this one into g of z. As g of a is 0, then p of a is also 0. But we have a1 into up to so on am are the only roots of our p of z. Then this a must be equal to one of the aj, which implies a equal to aj for some j. But g of a will be equal to 0 and g here a is equal to aj, which implies g of aj is equal to 0. Whether this one is possible?
No, sir.
As by definition of zeros of an analytic function, g of aj is non-zero for each value of j lies between 1 to m. But due to our wrong assumption here, we will get g of aj is equal to 0. As this one is not possible, so which is contradiction to our assumption, which is contradiction to our assumption, that is g of z is a non-constant polynomial. As this one is wrong, it implies g of z is a constant polynomial. So let us take g of z is equal to some c and put that value in our p of z, which implies p of z is equal to c into z minus a1 to the power k1 into z minus a2 to the power k2 up to so on z minus am to the power km. Okay, now, and what is its degree? Degree of p of z will be, degree of this c will be 0, and degree of now this one is addition of these all the powers, that is degree of p of z is nothing but k1 plus k2 plus to so on plus km, and that one is we have to put, and hence the required result. येस, कुणाला काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
नो सर.